Can you hear me? Thank you very much. I'd like to call the Community Facilities District meeting to order. It's June 22nd, 2020. This is a joint meeting of the following Community Facilities District, and so we will have, yes, so I will begin to read them. It's number 1, Community Facilities General District number 1. Number 2, Palm Valley Community Facilities District number 3. Number 3 is Community Facilities Utilities District number 1. 4 is Wildflower Ranch Community Facilities District. Number 5 is Wildflower Ranch Community Facilities, but District number 2. 6 is Cotton Flower Community Facilities District. 7 is Australia Mountain Ranch Community Facilities District. 8 is King Branch Community Facilities District. Number 9 is Centerra Community Facilities District. And 10 is Cortina Community Facilities District. And the roll call, we are all here. So it's nice to see everybody on this very hot evening, correct? Yes. Okay, our district clerk will now give you information on how to participate in tonight's meeting. And I understand we have a number of people participating. So Darcy McCracken, our district clerk, will introduce.
Mayor, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the board meetings are closed to the public. Our residents still have several ways to address the board. They may submit their comments and questions to publiccomments@goodyearaz.gov, and they can view the meeting using Facebook, YouTube, or the link from our agendas using Granicus. The public may always contact their board members and the district chairman at any time by sending an email to gycouncil@goodyearaz.gov.
Thank you very much. Now is the time for citizens who would like to address the CFD board on any non-agenda item within the jurisdiction of the board. Do we have anyone?
Not for the CFD, Mayor.
Not in CFD. All right, thank you very much. All right, will the district clerk please read consent agenda items number 1 by title only, please?
Approval of minutes.
Thank you. Does anyone on board wish to remove this item from the consent agenda? All right. Can I have a motion, a second, to approve the consent agenda? Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I heard a motion from Vice Board Member Stiff and a second from Board Member Campbell. Roll call vote, please.
Vice Chairman Stipp.
Aye.
Board Member Pizzillo.
Aye.
Board Member Loretano.
Aye.
Board Member Campbell.
Aye.
Board Member Hampton.
Aye.
Board Member Kano.
Aye.
Chairman Lord.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, we'll begin the public hearing for the 10 community facilities directs. I will now open that public hearing to approve the final budgets for the 10 community facilities district for fiscal year 2021. We have our finance manager for the financial service. Oh, okay. You switched seats on me.
Pinch hitting today, so
okay.
Finance Manager Lori
That's all right. We
Wingenroth.
always love having you. So, would you just please introduce yourself for the public?
I'm the Finance Manager over the Budget and Research area, Lori Wingenroth.
Thank you.
Trying to get the PowerPoint up here. All righty. So first I just wanted to give you a brief update on our facilities districts have been in place for a number of years now, and some of them have no debt service. Some of them will be approaching not having debt service in the future. Some have some bond authorizations remaining that haven't been used for any purposes. We have operating funds available and some that are used. And they also have some growing fund balances. So it's probably time to start having some conversations about setting policy for future actions on community facilities districts. So as we go through the presentation, you'll probably see some cases where some of the budgets are higher, and that is because we are looking at a way to provide your ability to, if later in the year we come back to you to have a policy discussion, if there's a large fund balance in a particular area, we'll be talking to you about potential ways to use that. So as we go through the presentation, may explain some of the increases you might see as it's providing the capacity later on in the year to come to you to have some policy discussions about moving forward with the community facilities district. So just a heads up that we'll probably come talk to you in the fall about some policy changes there.
We appreciate that.
In terms of a community facilities district, we are holding the public hearing for the final adoption of the budgets. They are special purposes districts. They're designed to finance, purchase, install infrastructure that would normally be that is the responsibility of the developer, and of course it would be public infrastructure. And the way the community facilities districts work is that they levy a separate property tax in order to pay those operating costs and the debt service on those improvements. In Goodyear, we have 10 community facilities districts. You just read them all off. And each is a separate political subdivision with the council members serving as the board for those districts. So just to kind of quickly do an overview of the districts. This is the districts, and it shows a comparison of their FY20 assessed valuations and their FY21 assessed valuations. You'll see a couple where the percent change is large, places like Centralia, Estrella Mountain Ranch, Palm Valley. That's indicative of the growth that's been going on in those areas. So just like the general fund part of the budget, they grow with a new construction as well. So that's why some of those are increasing. This also then shows the levies. Again, the levies for these districts are dependent on primarily the debt service that they have. They also pay some administrative costs for their operations. And then here you'll see the combined property tax rates. Again, there are some changes in those rates. In some cases, we are able to use fund balances to pay debt service, so the levy does not have to be as large, or the debt service payments change over time. So these are all reflective of the rate required to achieve the expenses that need to be covered in the coming year for those particular districts. And then again, this shows you their budgets. And as I mentioned, you might see like Goodyear's Utilities shows a large increase in its budget. That's what I mentioned earlier. There's some fund balance there. We're going to go ahead and recommend appropriating that so that if later in the year there's a desire to move forward with some policy changes in those areas, you'd have the ability to do that at that point in time rather than waiting another year. And that's the brief presentation I have. We're in the point where you're holding a public hearing, and then we'd ask you to adopt the CFD budgets.
Thank you. And do we have any cards?
Not for the CFD.
All right, then I'm going to close the public hearing. Will the district clerk please read the 10 resolutions by title only, approving the final budgets of the 10 community facilities districts?
Approve resolutions to Centera CFD Resolution 2020-070. 3. Community Facilities General District Number 1, Resolution 2020-186. Number 4. Community Facilities Utilities District Number 1, Resolution 2020-113. Number 5, Cortinas CFD Resolution 2020-064. Number 6, Cotton Flower CFD Resolution 2020-069. Number 7, Estrella Mountain Ranch CFD Resolution 2020-134. Number 8, King Ranch CFD Resolution 2020-044. Number 9, Palm Valley CFD Number 3 Resolution 2020-062. Number 10, Wildflower Ranch CFD Resolution 2020-076. Number 11, Wildflower Ranch CFD Number 2 Resolution 2020-071. Approving the final budget of each district for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2020 and ending June 30th, 2021.
Thank you. Can I have a motion, a second, to adopt the resolutions associated with items 2 through 11, approving the final budget for the 10 community facilities district for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2020 and ending in June 30, 2021. Do I hear that motion?
So moved.
Second.
I heard a motion from Board Member Pizzillo and a second from Board Member Kano. All right, it's up for council discussion. Yes, Board Member Hampton.
I know we talked about this before. I know policy-wise, or when do we see I think the wildflower is the first one that'll eventually be paid off, right?
I'm sorry, what was that again?
When will the wildflower one be paid off, or how much
2
longer?
years.
2 more years?
In 23 is when their last payment is, I believe.
Okay, and that's the first one. Right.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's why we feel we need to have that conversation,
Yeah.
be ahead of that curve.
Okay. No, I'd be interested to see that. So, thank you.
Any more discussion? All right, then being a vote, roll call vote?
Vice Chairman Stick,
Aye.
Board Member Loretano. Aye. Board Member Campbell. Board Member Hampton.
Aye.
Board Member Kano.
Aye.
Board Member Pizzillo.
Aye.
Chairman Lord.
Aye.
The motion carries.
All right, there being no further business discussed, I'm going to adjourn this meeting.